Congresswoman Eshoo, thank you so much for talking to us this evening.
Happy to be with you.
So were you surprised by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's announcement today?
No, I wasn't.
You knew it was coming in, and do you think that the attack on her husband played a big role, or do you think this is something she's been thinking about for a while?
Well, I think as she made in the magnificent remarks on the floor that, and she quoted, I believe, from Ecclesiastes, that there's a time for everything under the sun. So if there's anyone that understands timing and the right time for her family, it's Nancy Pelosi. So this is clearly her decision. She's the one that had to, I think, with her family, come to this decision. And, it's right for her and it's right for her family. We all rejoice in her leadership. So today it was extraordinarily special to hear her really tell her story from the time she was so small as a 6-year-old and the first time she saw the Capitol of the United States. I thought all of the members really thought her remarks were magnificent.
It's interesting, she's such a unique career, and you guys kind of entered Washington politics around the same time in the 80s and early 90s there. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like back then and what her impact has been for women in Washington and Washington in general for the Democratic Party?
Well, she chronicled that today, that when she was elected in the special election, when Sala Burton passed away, came to the Congress in 1987, there were, I think, 20 women total out of 435. She immediately went to work to change that. Yeah. She's the change agent in terms of women coming into the House. So she arrived in 87. I was elected in 92. And I always thought that Nancy was destined for some kind of greatness, honestly, because our friendship goes back a long, long time ago, before either one of us were elected, and when our children were quite young. So I've seen her on that path, the respect and the deep regard over the years in Congress. The multiplicity of gifts that this woman has. And I don't think that her longevity doesn't necessarily produce a consequential leader. There are many that have served in the Congress for long periods of time, but Nancy Pelosi's leadership is consequential. Her record is unmatched in the history of our country of speakers, and not only a national leader, but recognized and respected around the world.
You both shared a sweet moment there on the floor today after she made her announcement. Can you tell us what you said to her or what she said to you?
I said, "I love you."
There was definitely deep respect and love and admiration that you can definitely see between the two of you. So many other politicians have called her the great unifier, at least within her own party. She was able to take two different politicians that maybe didn't agree on much other than just they were in the Democratic Party. Do you think that there's somebody else there that's the future of a leader of the party that can do what she's done for the Democrats?
Well, we'll see. We will have new leadership, and we're excited about what that newness of who it will be, and we always want our leaders to succeed. I think that that Nancy Pelosi always reminded the members, and in some of the toughest and darkest times in the life of our country, that it was the American people that sent us here to do the job, to produce for them. And so in uniting people, that was always the starting point. That was always the starting point. And in some of the darkest times, she said, I don't want to hear any member say that by taking this vote, they'll lose their seat. That's not why we're here. We're here to protect, to defend our country. So I think even for those in different parts of the country that don't agree with her politically, that there was a really a deep regard for this woman that put the Constitution and our democracy first, and really lived up to that every single day that she was here, with all of the gifts that she possesses. I don't think that we will ever see the likes of her again. That's how unique she is. And all the presidents that she served with, I think, would agree with that, because the achievements of their administration, they have said publicly, it was Nancy Pelosi that produced these legislative victories that then their administration was credited with. Whether it was George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, they agree with that.
Now, it's important to note she's not retiring. She's going to continue to represent her district here in San Francisco. She's still going to be there. But as the new generation starts to kind of come forward as the new leaders of the party, what's the one thing you hope that future leaders will learn from Nancy Pelosi? You spoke so much about their gifts.
Count. They have to know how to count, because you have to have the votes. You have to have the votes. So, and this is not just simple arithmetic. It really is. There's a real complexity to bringing everyone together. So she's never brought anything to the floor of the House and lost, not once. So she's, that sense of mastery of the legislative process. I would just say that whomever the new leaders are, perhaps they should have some long conversations with her, to pick her brain. They've been observers of all of this. It's another thing to pick up the baton and be able to do it.
Well, no doubt she'd be a great teacher. All right, Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.